Want clean, beautiful edges on your knitting? In this video, I'm showing you two simple techniques to elevate your projects: the slipped stitch edge and a simple single crochet border. Whether you're just starting out or looking to polish your finished pieces, these methods will give your knits a professional, braided finish every time. Let's dive in. To calculate my tail length, I like to wrap the yarn around my needle to estimate the cast on. For this swatch, I'm casting on 20 stitches. That means I'll wrap the yarn around the needle 20 times to measure my tail. As usual, I like to skip the slip knot and dive straight into the long tail cast on. For this demonstration, I'll be knitting a rough 4.5 inch garter stitch swatch using worsted weight yarn and US size 8 needles. I'll cast on 20 stitches. If you're wondering whether a slipped stitch edge affects the width of your piece, don't worry. If your pattern calls for 20 stitches in garter stitch and you slip the first stitch of every row, your stitch count stays the same. You're not adding or removing stitches. There might be a very slight change in width, maybe by a millimeter or two, but it's usually imperceptible. That said, if your project is fitted or seamed, it's a good idea to swatch both with and without the slipped stitch edge to compare. To work a slipped stitch edge, insert your needle purlwise into the first stitch of the row and slip it onto the right-hand needle without knitting it. Then bring the yarn to the back of your work and knit the rest of the row as usual. At the end of the row, knit the last stitch, then turn your work slip the first stitch purlwise again, and continue. As you go, you'll notice that the slipped stitches create a lovely braided edge. No more bumps or jagged edges, just a clean, decorative finish. If you've already finished a project and want to clean up the edges, you can add a simple single crochet border around the perimeter. A good rule of thumb is to match your crochet hook size to your knitting needle size. Since I used US 8 needles, I'll use an H 5mm crochet hook. Start by inserting your hook into the corner of your work. Take a length of yarn and loop it over the hook, pulling it through to anchor it. Between each garter ridge bump, you'll find a nice flat space where you can insert your crochet hook. Insert your hook into that space, yarn over, and pull it through. Then yarn over again and pull through both loops on the hook. That's your first single crochet stitch. You may have noticed that I wrapped the tail yarn into that first stitch. This is my personal preference because I don't like to use knots, but I do want the stitches to be secure. Continue working single crochet stitches between each garter ridge bump. When you reach a corner, instead of just working one stitch into it, work 2 single crochet stitches into that same corner space. This will give the corner a polished, rounded look. Once you've completed one full side, you'll see that those bumpy garter ridges have disappeared, replaced with a beautiful braided edge similar to what you'd get from a slipped stitch edge. Since my swatch has 4 sides, I'm going to continue the single crochet border around the entire perimeter. When I reach the cast-on edge, there won't be visible garter ridges. Instead, I'll insert my hook under each stitch. They look like little V's, and work single crochet stitches across as evenly as possible. You'll start to see a really clean, continuous edge forming, smooth, braided, and slightly curved. If your project only has one edge that needs cleaning up, you can simply bind off when you reach the end. To finish this swatch, I'm going to work 2 stitches into the final corner, then continue with the single crochet between each garter ridge bump. I'll speed this part up so you can see how I complete the round and join the first and last stitches. At the end, I'll cut my yarn and thread it through a large eye tapestry needle. Insert your needle under both top loops of the first single crochet stitch you made. Then pass it back down through the center of the last stitch to create a seamless, invisible join. Turn your work, weave in the tail, and you're done. The single crochet edge is a beautiful finishing technique that every knitter should know. It works wonderfully in a matching or contrasting color. Here I've paired a soft bone color with light blue, but the creative possibilities are endless. Don't be afraid to experiment. You might find that this becomes your new favorite way to finish a piece. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, give it a like, leave a comment, or share it with a fellow knitter. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe for more tutorials, creative tips, and all things fiber arts. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, happy knitting.